YouTube starting just about now. All right, we've from Italy. Excellent. All right, excellent, perfect. I think we are all set here on YouTube. Yep, looks like we're good to go. All right, awesome. We are going to go ahead and get started. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me here today. I really do appreciate it. Let's start off with some introductions. So for those of you that do not know me, my name is Jon Smith, for real. And I am the iPod teacher on Twitter. So if you are on Twitter and you want to give me a shout out, great. If you are not on Twitter or you just don't care, that's fine. My wife doesn't follow me either. So I will not be offended if you don't follow me. But I'm also Jon Smith at bookcreator.com. So if you do have any questions after today, please don't hesitate to reach out. Always happy to answer questions that you may have, chat ideas about Book Creator, that kind of stuff. I will be, like I said, monitoring the chat window. So if you do have any questions, put those in the Q&A box, and then aha moments, things like that, you can put that into the chat window. I'll be monitoring that as we go along. Taught special ed for 12 years, mostly 5th and 6th grade. After that, I was a technology integration specialist for 7 years, mostly at a high school. And now I am here as Book Creator Senior Teacher Success Manager in my 5th year of that role. So 19 years of teaching, 5 years as teacher success. Basically, I'm just here to make sure that teachers and students get the best use out of their licenses as possible, and that everybody's having a good time making books. And let's see what else. I'm married. I've got 3 kids. I love golf and I love dirty cars. That's right. On the side, I'm actually a certified auto detailer, so I love cleaning dirty cars. So if anybody's near Ohio and you have a dirty car, let me know, and I'll be happy to get that clean for you. All right. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and jump in here. And before we get into a little bit about, everything that we're going to be talking about tonight, I love to share this brand new book that we've had. Well, I guess it's not really brand new, but as we're talking about success in the school year, coming up, I think it's important to talk about the why of Book Creator. We don't really talk about this a whole lot. A lot of times it's just, here's how Book Creator is used. And a lot of times teachers come up with the why on their own, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But we put this little book together, and I think it's really important to kind of go through. So for those of you that aren't overly familiar with Book Creator, here's a little bit about the why. And for me, and I think for a lot of teachers, Book Creator has really transformed their classroom engagement. So as you're getting ready to start your year, or maybe you've been in school for a few weeks, like my own children, Book Creator really has that opportunity to transform engagement because the kids absolutely love it. All right. You may not believe me now if you haven't used Book Creator in a while, or if you haven't used it at all, but you will, right? In a matter of weeks, you will totally understand where I'm coming from with this. Book Creator really has the opportunity to transform things. So much so that when you are done with the unit at hand, your students are going to want to continue making books long after the assignment is over. I see it all the time. The unit on photosynthesis is done. And so what do kids do? They want to keep making books. And so they go into the teacher's library and they're making books about grandpas and grandmas and flowers and plants and dogs and cats and things like that, because they just want to keep doing it. All right. Yes, great question. Where is this book at? That book is in our Discover section. If you scroll down about midway through the Discover section, you're going to see the book. All right. Now I'm going to copy the address. I'll put it right here into the chat window as well. And then that way you can all have it. But it is in the Discover section, in the section where the ambassador books are. And we'll show you that in a minute. The other thing that is really important to note about Book Creator is that it really does add excitement to every subject that you teach. I think a lot of times Book Creator, when you hear the words Book Creator, you think of English language arts, reading classes, that kind of stuff. But the truth is that Book Creator can be used for everything. All right. Every subject, every grade, it doesn't matter. So I definitely want you to think about that. All right. The other thing is, not only is it for every subject, Book Creator is also for everyone. And I truly, truly cannot express how much this is true. Personally, I have used Book Creator with students as young as 3, as old as 98, and everywhere in between. It does not matter what your age is. It does not matter your ability level. It does not matter anything. We are truly inclusive, and we really believe that everybody should be able to use Book Creator. And I love this example here of how we have some American Sign Language going on while the students are writing on the pages, right? So there's a lot that can be done with Book Creator. We mentioned this a little bit already, but it's so true. The kids love becoming creators. All right. If you don't believe me and you don't think that Book Creator is that right spot, I mean, just look at YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and all these other things, because kids are making stuff all the time. They love creating content. And now they have the opportunity to create that content here within Book Creator. And what's even cooler about it is once that book is published, your students can then see how many times it's been read, how many countries have read their book. And that is truly, truly engaging and exciting. And if you are looking for one thing that really empowers your students as they are going through this year, telling them that they are becoming published authors is probably it. All right. Now, the other thing that's really awesome about Book Creator, why Book Creator, is because you can just jump in. All right. For the most part, students will figure Book Creator out in about 7 minutes flat. All right. Teachers, 10 minutes, maybe 15. But Book Creator is a very easy tool. And for those of you that have used it before, you totally know what I'm talking about. But it's just there. You click the plus button and off you go. And the other thing I wanted to talk about Book Creator just briefly, again, for our why Book Creator in the classroom, is because we are built with education in mind. Our founder, who you saw there on the screen, his name is Dan. He was a former software working for a former software company. His wife was a children's author, and their son had dyslexia. And to help their son, Dan created Book Creator and thought, hey, if my son can write about things that he's interested in, maybe that will help. And it sure did. And not only has it helped Dan's son, but it has helped many, many students and teachers around the world. All right. And as always, we are always here by your side. So if you do have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to go to our website. Don't hesitate to reach out to support. We are always here to help. All right. Now, again, for those of you that aren't overly familiar with Book Creator, I will say that the best place to go and sign up for an account is at this link that I am going to put into the chat window right now. So if you have never used Book Creator before, right here is our website, which is app.bookcreator.com. And when you go here to our website, please make sure you click the blue button that says switch to teacher, because if not, you're going to sign in as a student and you don't want to do that. So make sure you want to sign in as a teacher, where you'll have the big blue screen and you're going to answer a few questions, and that's going to get you set up with our free account. And then once you do that and you've created a library, you'll be brought to your library that looks like this. And for those of you that were wondering, I mentioned earlier the Discover tab. So if you go to the 3 black lines here at the top left, right there is your teacher dashboard. If you click Discover and you scroll down a little bit, we have examples right here where it says supercharge your lesson. And right there, front and center, is our why use Book Creator in the classroom. Okay, Kimberly, great question. I did not answer that this moment, but I will certainly answer that. And the question is, can you print the books out if you want? And the answer to that is yes, you can. But I'm going to put a little asterisk next to this because there are some kind of things to note about printing out the book. So one, if you click the share button underneath your book and click print, you can print them. But it's not what I think most people want. I think most people would want us to be able to print out some kind of hardback version of the book, or to be able to print the book out so that when you fold the pieces of paper, you have a nice little booklet, right? And unfortunately, right now, we don't do that. So when you click print, what it does is it downloads your book as a PDF, and then you can print the book out on a printer of your choice. And then you can do with it what you need to do from there. We do have a teacher librarian in Canada who does a lot of printing of books, hardback books for her students, and it's amazing. And I believe that she uses a website called Picto. I think it's Pikto. And that allows her to print out her books in a hardback version. And so again, there are some definite benefits of doing that. And I understand that, kids like to touch books and flip pages. I think is great. But the other major downside is that if you do print the books out, you lose a lot of the fun, right? So a lot of the amazing multimedia that you can do in Book Creator, you lose if you print the book out. You can't play videos, you can't play the audio, that kind of stuff. So for me, I love the digital. I love the sharing of the book digitally, but I certainly understand the ability or the desire, I guess, to print the books out physically. So with that being said, totally understand. All right, so let's start looking around here at Book Creator. And as we're talking about empowering your year and empowering your students, the best place to start is probably right at the beginning with some of our newest features. So we have some new features in Book Creator, some going back almost maybe a year or so, I guess, at the latest, but we've had some relatively new updates here this summer. And the first of which is our graphic organizers. All right, so in Book Creator, we now have 104 graphic organizers built right in, and they are amazing. All right, so how do you find the graphic organizers? Well, you're going to click the plus button, and then right at the top, there's a little rocket ship that says More. You're going to click More, and then you're going to see all of the apps that you have turned on. If you haven't turned on any apps, you'll only see Files and Embed, just those two. But if you want to turn on more apps, you click the plus Add Apps button, and you'll see our 9 additional apps that we've had for a while here in Book Creator, minus the graphic organizers, which is brand new. So you're going to click on the apps, you're going to read about the privacy, you're going to decide if it's okay for your group or not, and then you're going to turn that app on. Once that app is turned on, it will then appear under the plus button and More. All right, and so you can see here, I've got lots of my apps turned on. And so I'm going to simply click on graphic organizers, and it's going to give me 104 to choose from. Now I can scroll through all 104 if I want, or I can click over here on the left and look at some options. Maybe I'm just interested in a graphic organizer that has something to do with vocabulary, right? So I'm going to click vocabulary, and then some options pop up. So I'm going to click on this one, read it, say it, write it. Now, if you are on the free version, some of these will have a little crown next to it, and when you hover over it, it will say premium. All right, that means it's part of our paid version. If it doesn't say premium, then it's free and you can use it. You decide if you like it, you click add to book, and then that graphic organizer adds itself as a page right there in the book. Your students can click here, they can edit anything that they want, they can get rid of this and add their own audio buttons in there, and like I said, edit until they get completed what they need to have completed. So I love the graphic organizers. And the other thing that I love about them is that I think a lot of times when teachers and students think of Book Creator, they think of it as this end of month project, end of term project, something like that. And what I love about Book Creator, and especially the graphic organizers, is it really gets you to think about using Book Creator more often, right? So it's not just here's the end product, and that's what we did in Book Creator. You can document the entire learning process in Book Creator, starting with something like a graphic organizer. All right. Now, I did see a question. So I am a certified author, and I want to continue the lessons of the second level, but I did not find the link. So actually, we do not have a second level. All right, we did update recently our certification. Recently, as in like the last year and a half. So if you click on certification, this is the most up-to-date certification. So we don't really have levels. We just have the certification course. So you can simply go through here and watch any of the videos that you haven't seen before, that might have been in the first iteration of our certification, but this is the most recent one. So there are no levels for our certification right now. All right. So we're going to go back to our book here, and that was our graphic organizers. All right. Now, another favorite option of mine is our new PDF import. And again, I think this is going to have tremendous impact on your classroom, because I'm sure that you have lots of teachers in your schools and districts that are still using PDFs. Some of them may even be printing them out. And so I want to show you what I love most about our PDF import. If I click the plus button and more, I can certainly find an option right here that says files. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to look for files on my computer. I've got some PDFs here, so I'm going to click on the PDF and click open. And what it's going to ask me is, do I want to add it to the page of my book, or do I want to embed it? All right, if I click embed and confirm, this is what the PDF is going to look like. All right, it's going to be a goofy little PDF logo, and you can't see it. You have to click on it, and then it opens it up in a pop-up. Okay, and then you can look at it and read through it. I like this option if I have students who I simply just want to read an article or something. Read this article and then do some kind of analysis over here on the page and show me what you've learned. If you click the plus button, more, and files, and choose that same PDF, and instead say add it as a page and click confirm, then what it's going to do is it's going to add that PDF right on the page of the book. If it's a 20-page PDF, it will make a 20-page book. And then what I love about this is now I can add the book creator goodies right on top. So as a former special ed teacher, one of the things that I had to do all the time was read the directions to my students over and over again. So guess what I do? I'll click the plus button, record, start recording. It's going to give me a little countdown. Spell out short vowel words. Write the missing vowel for each word below. Choose from A, E, I, O, U. I click start or stop, use recording, and now I have that audio button right there so my students can hear the directions that are going on with this PDF. It gets even better because I can click the PDF, click the pencil, and now I can even have my students writing on this PDF if I want them to. And if I want to, I can click the eraser and I can maybe get rid of some of this stuff, right? Maybe I don't like the hat and the cat, or the rat and the cat, right? Maybe I want to get rid of some of these questions that I don't like. So you can do some editing to the PDF. All right, now I've got a couple of other questions. Let's see here. Oh yes, good, great question. The certification is great for teachers. Is there a training for students? So instead of me teaching them, they can learn on their own. So a couple of options for you in that realm. So let me pull up YouTube, and on YouTube, if I look up Book Creator Student Tutorial, one of our most watched videos is this one right here, and I'll put that into the chat window right now. This is a student video that was created by our marketing director's daughter. All right, she actually made this tutorial, and it is very popular, and she does a very good job. Now, I will admit that it is a bit outdated. Okay, so it's been a few years since she had posted that one, but that would be a good start. The other option that I have is the certification. All right, I've had quite a few teachers who will watch the certification videos with their students in class. And so that way the teachers and the students are all kind of on the same page. And that teacher that did that, the one that I'm thinking of specifically, then even made little certificates for the students and said, you are now a book creator certified student, right? Which I thought was pretty cool. So there's some options. It is something that we are looking at maybe doing in the future, but for right now, that's kind of all we've got. Good question. Can you do this with other document files such as Word docs? So right now, this is a PDF import. You can embed other files from your computer. So if I had Word documents, I might be able to pull them in. Google Docs, you can do the same thing. You can embed Google Docs in there as well. But as far as Word documents, I don't have any Word documents specifically to show you. But what it's going to do is it's going to bring the Word document in, very similar to like what you see here with this PDF logo. It's not going to bring the PDF, or it's not going to bring the Word document in like this version of the PDF. It'll bring it in like this version of the PDF, where it kind of pulls up a pop-up window. All right, so that's the PDF tool, which is absolutely my favorite. Now, this one, I don't know how many times I have had this happen to me, but this is our new Eyedropper tool. All right, so if you're like me, you may have said, well, I'm going to add some new text to the page. I'm going to put my name on here, and I'm going to click done, and it's this weird yellow, and it doesn't quite match with the rest of the yellow. So I want this Jon Smith text to be one of the colors that's on the page. Maybe I want it to be this lime greenish yellow color. Maybe I want it to be this tan color. And in the past, what I have done is click on my words or click on my text, click inspector, go to color, and click the plus button, and then just kind of guess, right? I'm kind of like, it's kind of a little more yellow than that. Maybe it's a little more limey than that. And I kind of guess, and I'm like, I think it's that, right? And I'm like, that's kind of close, but I don't know if it's 100%. So one of our newest features is this eyedropper. So you simply click the eyedropper and then hover over the text or the color that you want. Could be the blue or whatever color that is, bluish gray, could be the tan, whatever color that is. Totally up to you. So hover, click the eyedropper, hover, and then click. And then once you have your color here, you click apply. And now this Jon Smith text is the exact same yellow as the words eyedropper. All right, so this, I don't know how many times that this would have saved my life in the past. We have it now. It's super, super cool. All right, another one, QR codes. All right, so we get this from teachers all the time. We're going to publish the book. We're going to get the link. Do you have a QR code feature? And the answer has always been no until now. So when I click the share button and publish, I'm going to give it a title and author and description, private or public, remixing or not. I just kind of make those decisions. And then I click publish online. And now that book is published online, I can copy this link, which I could have in the past made a QR code for, or now we have the ability to get the QR code right away. So I click QR code. It's going to download a PDF of this QR code, and then I can print this out. What's nice about it, it has the QR code, but it also says what the book title is, which I think is really cool, and the author's name. So you print this out, and then you can do something with it. My personal favorite, I have two personal favorite ways that teachers are using this that I think is really, really cool. And I think your kids are going to love it too. You publish the book, you get the QR code. And I've seen librarians take these QR codes and cut them out and put them on the cover of books in the library. And what the QR code does when kids scan it is it takes them to a book review that was written by another student. So a kid goes into the library, pulls the book off the shelf, scans the QR code, reads the book review and says, yes, that's the book I want, and checks it out. Or no, thanks, that doesn't sound cool at all, puts the book back. I think that's awesome. Second way that I have seen this, which I think is really cool, is that the teachers will publish the student work once it's finished and put the QR codes out in the hallway up on the bulletin board. And then as parents, staff members, administrators, other kids are walking down the hallway and they look up and see those QR codes, they're going to want to do what you and I want to do, which is they're going to want to scan them, right? And so they scan the QR code and it takes them to some completed work that another student did. So anyway, I think that's super cool. I love that option. So there are our QR code options for it. All right. Yes, I love the eyedropper tool. That is fantastic. All right. So that's QR codes. Now, another newer feature that we just released not too long ago are invite links. All right. So in the past, when you click on the button that says enter a link, right? Or and invite students, you get this code that pops up. And that is the code for your students to join the library. Now, sometimes Most times this works out really well. Sometimes, though, students might accidentally put the wrong letter in, or they might accidentally put an extra space at the end or something like that, and then the code doesn't work, right? And it causes confusion. So one of our newest features is right here, and that is the option to copy the invite link. So what this does is you copy this link and you email it to your kids, or you put it in Google Classroom or an LMS or something like that. Copy the link, send it to your kids, and when your students click on the link, it automatically gets them into your library. They do not have to use the link code anymore. They just have to click on the link, and now they're in your library. So again, trying to make things easier and better for students, and I absolutely love that option. Now, this one is a biggie, all right? And this one just went live on Friday. So if you haven't been in Book Creator since Friday, we have a brand new text editor. All right, so let me show you what that looks like. Whoops, I thought I had a page in there and I did not. So I'm going to just insert a new page and we're going to talk about the text editor. All right, so click the plus button, click text, choose a style, and then I'm going to type in my text. That's pretty much the way it has been forever. One of the biggest changes, though, is the microphone. In the past, you had to click the microphone, hope that everybody around you was quiet, and then click on the drop down that was over here on the left and choose your language. Now, you can choose your language from the drop down on the right first, and then start speaking in that language. So it's really nice because before, if somebody were to talk or burp or something in the background while I was trying to choose my language, the language options would go away. Now they're permanently there, right? So I click the drop down, I choose my language, and then I hit the record button to record my voice. So that right there in and of itself was a game changer for me. All right, so I love that. Now, we do have some other options. All right. So as you see here at the top, bold, italicized, underline, you can link your text. So if I highlighted Smith and clicked link, I could link my text to a website or a specific page in the book. Those have always been there. But one of my new favorites is now this letter A, because if I cover like the letter M, right, I can highlight the M, click the A, and choose the letter color just for that individual letter or for the word. All right, so this time I can change the color of text right here within the text box. In the past, I remember many, many times having to spell out a word by individually making letters. I made this letter, and I made this letter another color, and this letter another color. So lots of different options that you can do now with the color right up front. And I have something that I want to talk about briefly here in a minute about color. All right. So anyway, you can change the text right then and there. You can also text highlight. You can do bullet points. You can do numbers. And if you click the three dots, you can even have a strike through, superscripts, and subscripts. All right, which is brand new. We have never had those before. I did notice that somebody earlier was asking about math equations. And so guess what? Down here at the bottom, we now have two additional buttons. We have all of these different accents that you can put in there. And we have numbers and math equation type stuff that you're going to want to put inside of a book. So this is much better. Instead of having to, try to draw a fraction or try to draw the pi symbol or a square root or something like that. Now we have all of these math symbols that are built right in here within the text editor box. How can we enlarge the line of writing in the text? So good question. So if I had a text box here and I just type Jon Smith, I'm assuming that means you want to know, how do I make the Jon Smith text itself bigger? And the answer is you click done. There's my text box. And from here, I'm going to click the inspector. And this is where I can change the size, the colors, the fonts, the backgrounds, of the entire text box at one time. Okay, so if you want some simple fine tuning, you can do that within the text box. But if you want larger scale where you'd want to increase the size of the fonts and things like that, you can do that after you click done and then click the inspector. Okay. Now, as we're talking about, being successful in a new school year and moving forward with Book Creator, one of the things that we have seen is a lot of teachers using our template books that we have. All right, we've got some back to school templates here, which are great teacher created ideas. We've got some well-being journals for SEL, so many amazing ideas. But one of the things that we see that happens is teachers will go into this template book, they'll go to Pages View, and they'll see all of these awesome pages. And they're like, oh, these are all so cool. I want to use all of them with my students. And the problem is that when a student sees this, right, in the library, a teacher might make it a template and call it template, make a copy, right? And then the student can make a copy of this book. Here's the problem. Because when you do this, the kids now have access to all of the pages of this book, all 20 pages of this book. And you might not want them to have all 20 pages at one time, all right? Because what's going to happen is you're going to say, hey, kids, do pages 5 and 6 and stop. What's going to happen is you're going to have a few kids who just want to keep going, right? And they're going to be like, well, I'm on page 9 or I'm on page 10 or I finished the entire book, right? And so maybe in the chat window, give me a thumbs up if you've ever had that happen before, because I suspect that has happened a lot. So I want to show you a best practice / hack. All right. Favorite hack of mine. I will have every student create their own book. All right. So I have them click new book. The only requirement is I might choose the style of book, right? So there's a reason for that, but I might choose a style. So I'm going to say, okay, everybody choose landscape comic or choose landscape portrait or landscape 4:3. Totally up to you. I want you to choose one of the two landscape books. Kids will choose the book, and then I'm going to say, design your cover. All right. Put your face on there, put your name on there, design the cover however you want. And so that would be a good first experience for students, right? They're playing around with Book Creator, they're having a good time, and they're enjoying it. All right, now, the other thing, once they do that, right, once the students have created their own book, then I'm going to go back into my template. And I'm going to go to pages and I'm going to say, you know what? I just want them to do page 5, 6, and 7 actually goes with page 6. So I'm going to click those 3. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to click copy to. I'm going to find my library that I'm working in, which I lost. There it is. And then I'm going to see all of the students' individual books, all of their individual covers. I'm going to click on the books that I want, or I can click at the button at the top and click all of the books and then simply say copy pages. And what it's going to do is it's going to, and I'll show you in this book, copy pages. It's going to take those 3 pages only, and it's going to dump those 3 pages into the back end of that book. So if I go back to my blank book here, it was blank. I didn't add anything into it yet until I clicked copy pages. And now you'll see 1, 2, and 3. All 3 pages that I copied are now right there inside of all of the students' books. And so again, I love this. I think this is a great way to push out content to your kids. So if you don't want them to answer 100 questions or all of the pages of your book at once, design the page, and then you can push that right out there for your students to see. Okay. All right. So that is definitely one of my favorites. All right. One of my favorite kind of best practices and kind of hacky kinds of things that you can do within Book Creator. Now, I do want to share a couple of things. I'm going to put this link here into the chat window. All right. That link does take you to a brand new blog post about our new text editor. So if I missed anything, or if you want more information again, then you can certainly go back through and read that blog post. So that is one. Alexander, pushing out pages each week is also a great way to support student ongoing journals. Absolutely, right? You can push those pages out each week, each month, each day, whatever you want. I actually talked to a teacher a few days ago, and they were using Book Creator for exit slips. So every day before the students left class, they had to answer a couple questions, and they did it in Book Creator. And so every day the teacher would push out those exit slips. All right, now the next blog post that I want to share, and I'll put this into the chat window as well, I think is fascinating. So again, as we're getting ready for back to school and we're thinking about how we can make our students successful, we have a brand new blog post from Randy, who is our new head of literacy. And it's talking about unlocking the magic of color, right? And how important color is in education. And so whether you're changing the letters of a word using our text box, or whether you're building book designs, there are so many amazing thoughts and ideas in here, right? Specifically, like yellow is the attention grabber, red is for stimulating thoughts, right? Green is a soothing color, blue the tranquilizer. Highly recommend you take a look at this and discuss or learn about using color in the classroom. And we even have an awesome book that you can remix about color and why it matters in the classroom. All right, so here it is. It says, get the remixable template, why color? All you have to do, click the button that says copy the book. It will copy it right into your library, and there it is, our book on why color matters. And so once it loads, then you'll be able to click on it and you'll be able to flip through the pages. All right, so we'll give it a second here. We'll let the dots do their thing, and then we're going to click on the book, and I'll show you some of the pages. So again, why color matters, right? So really, really fascinating, great templates that you can use with your kids. And again, as we're kind of wrapping things up here in terms of templates, just some things that we've added recently. We do have a welcome book here for teachers. These can all be found on our website in the teacher dashboard under the Discover section, and remixables. So we have tons of stuff here, teacher first lesson ideas, the back to school templates and resource ideas for teachers, our Book Creator Toolkit, which is amazing and filled with just hundreds of ideas for using Book Creator across your schools. I definitely encourage you to take a look at those. And then, of course, we have our well-being journals and everything else under these remixable templates, things from literacy, ELA and curriculum, STEM, digital citizenship, and more. Under literacy, I love these daily writing prompt books. So Alexander was talking about pushing out, weekly journals. We have some writing prompts that are built right here, and all you got to do is copy those pages and put them right in there for your students. Okay. Now, I am going to take a look and see if there are any questions, thoughts, aha moments. All right, so let me take a look here. If you do have any questions, put those into the Q&A box, or if you have any thoughts, put those into the chat window. And that is all I have for everybody here today to get you all pumped up and excited about the school year and leading success, right? Launching success in your classroom using Book Creator. So any questions, thoughts? You're welcome, Kimberly. Thank you. Yes, do I have access to the video? The video will be live on our YouTube channel probably tomorrow. All right, maybe later tonight, but definitely tomorrow. All right, you are very welcome. How to get more libraries for free. Yeah, so unfortunately, the free version of Book Creator only allows you to have this locked library, which gives you a place to play around and try things, and then this one additional library that allows you to have up to 40 books in it. Now, you can always click the three dots and you can archive a library, and it keeps your 40 books going. But if you're interested in having more than one library at a time and lots of books, I would highly recommend taking a look at the paid version. All right. Is it a good idea to use it as a communication book with parents? Yeah, sure. I don't see why you couldn't. You could certainly write daily notes and things that happen in class, put them into a book, and then the parents will have access to the book that you give them, right? When you give them that link after publishing it. Now, the fun fact is that if I were to publish a book and send it to a parent, every time I update that book, it automatically updates for the parent, right? Using that published link. So you could, do weekly summaries and reach outs to parents after, the week and show what their students are doing in class. You could create a whole class book and show what's going on in the class for the entire week as well. The only thing I would mention about that is if it's student to their parent, probably not that big of an issue, but if it's multiple students going out to multiple parents, you definitely want to make sure that you're within rights of the privacy within your school district. But I could definitely see that happening. I think it's a great idea. All right, how do I become a book creator champion and an ambassador? And so that's a great question. So right now we are working through the process of all of that, book creators being the champions and things like that. So, and it is not the, what's the word I'm looking for? It is not my creation. So I am not 100% sure about all of that just yet, but I would definitely keep an eye out on social media because our community manager, David Hotler, he is the one that has come up with the champion program. So keep an eye out for that and keep an eye on our website, social media, any of the community groups that you are part of in relation to Book Creator. More information will be coming out about that soon. I was told maybe around like the end of September, October. That is kind of the goal. All right. But yes, instead of just having ambassadors, we are going to have 3 different levels, collaborator, champion, ambassador. All right. So there's going to be 3 different levels that you can be part of. All right. You're very welcome. I work with special needs students in Auckland. My students love engaging with Book Creator. Yes, absolutely. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Janet. Thanks for being here. All right. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, the new features are awesome. And guess what? We've got even more coming, and I think they should be coming out in the next month or so. So keep your eyes out because things are going to get even better very soon. All right. Thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Happy bookmaking. Bye-bye.